Have you ever felt overburdened? I think most of us have had that feeling where the weight on us is just so massive, and we need assistance in getting this weight off ourselves. Now, when you want to get a weight off yourself, you need to know what it is that is weighing you down. I'm reminded of a talk that I listened to by Rainer Petek, who mentioned that he was climbing up this mountain, and at one stage he was feeling overburdened, and they had to make a call whether they're going to go forward or not. And he tells the story of how he threw his rucksack down with everything in it that he didn't need. He repacked that basically. Now, in our lives, we need to do a similar exercise very often when we feel overburdened. The challenge for us in this is that a lot of the things we drag with ourselves, we drag with ourselves because of a wild horse. There's a wild horse that tells us, if you don't protect yourself from this, that will happen. If you don't do this, it will be extremely bad. And we start busying ourselves with things that are not major, that are minor, but they become major because of our wild horses. But we don't realize that we're doing that because we never sit down and actually consider what is important here. What can I do about this, and how should I do this? And as we go into the process of doing that, we actually start to eliminate a lot of these unnecessary things in our lives. We start to see things in the correct perspective. And as we see them in the correct perspective, we often can either put it in the place, the minor place it should be, or maybe even eliminate it completely out of our lives. But the starting point is to sit down and ask yourself, what are the wild horses I have that cause me to drag all of this with me, that cause me to overprotect myself the whole time, that cause me to feel disrespected or unloved, and therefore I need to prove myself, that cause me to feel disrespected or unloved and put me in the place where I have to control everything excessively? What is it that causes me to kind of put up all these boundaries the whole time and not accept help, accept relationship? And very often the answer to that is found in our wild horse. And as soon as we bring that wild horse to the light, we can actually have a freedom and be less burdened. Now let's take it to the next level. Remember, this is not only happening within you. It's happening within your loved ones, your colleagues. It's happening all around you with people. Very often people are unaware of this additional burden they're carrying. If you listen with a loving ear and ask yourself, what is the wild horse that's behind this whole thing? You might hear the solution that these people are not aware of. I believe very strongly that every person does have a solution to their challenge within themselves. But I also believe very strongly that there's a wild horse that prevents them from tackling that, first of all, and that the solution is often connected to a wild horse that they have. Please remember, we all have a whole herd of wild horses. It's the worst thought about yourself that naturally comes and it pops up in all areas of our lives. So let's tackle that. Let's take that out of our equation and let's help each other to be less burdened. Have fun.